It's been 5 or 6 weeks and we're finally canning our sauerkraut. Let me show you how I did it. While this seems very gross, this has been sitting for over 5 weeks. I'm removing my weight, my plate, and the gross top layers of the full leaves of cabbage. Let's try it. Oops. It's perfect. Every couple weeks, I've just been checking it and I'll taste it and see if it's sour enough for our liking and make sure there's no mold or anything growing on it. So it's ready, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you how to can it. Once you get the hard part done of just waiting and waiting and waiting, some people like to can it like 3 and 4 weeks. I feel like ours just a little more salty and sour, so we let it go a little longer. All you're gonna do is put it in a pot and bring it to a boil. This is gonna be several batches, so I'm just gonna start out with enough for a batch. And when we're canning it, you do want the juices in with the sauerkraut. So I'm not trying to be picky and only pick out the sauerkraut. I'm just scooping it in there. We love to grab a jar out of the cabinet when we have hot dogs. And I also like eating sauerkraut by itself, with pork, with sausage. I just love sauerkraut. I always have. Okay, that's definitely enough for my first batch. I'm doing pints for my first batch, so I can only fit 9 in my canner. So I'm gonna get this on the stove and get it heating up. While that heats up, I'm gonna get my canner ready and I'm gonna fill it to about probably a little over 1/3 of the way full. The water needs to cover the jars by at least 1 inch or 2. So I'm gonna get water in here and get the water starting to heat up. I also have my jars in hot water heating up. I put a knife in the jar because my mom and my grandma told me that tempers the glass. And also I use the knife to debubble and to compact the sauerkraut to make sure I'm getting as much as possible in each jar. And you do want to make sure juice is covering all the sauerkraut, so I'm not really worried if juice gets in there, but I do try to make sure I get the sauerkraut in there first, and then I add juice if I need to. And I'm filling to the bottom ring on the jar. Right like that. I'm gonna get all 9 of these done and then I'll show you the next step. All the jars are full, and because I am such a messy canner, I take extra care in wiping my tops because I'm just messy. You wanna make sure all your jars have no imperfections around the rim on the top. And then you'll take your lid, I use brand new lids every time, make sure they're washed or boiled, and put your ring on fingertip tight. And this is gonna go into my canner. And I'm just gonna repeat the same process with all of them, making sure they're good and clean, and I have a good clean lid and a ring fingertip tight into the canner. I have all 9 pints in my canner. I'm gonna just slowly drop this down. I was always taught to do that also, just so your jars could get used to the water temperature in the pot. If you have hard water, just add a splash of vinegar. Make sure the water's covering your jars by a couple inches. Put the lid on, and once it comes to a rolling boil, we're gonna set the timer for 15 minutes for pints or 20 minutes for quarts. The timer went off, so turn off your heat and take your lid off. We're just gonna let it rest for 5 minutes. The 5 minutes is up. We're just gonna pull up our jars slowly. And take your jar gripper, pull them out, and put them on your counter to rest for 24 hours without moving them. And don't forget to make sure they all sealed before you put them away. Oh, I hear them popping. Did you hear that? And I'm just gonna keep going because I have a lot of batches to do. And if you need to see how to make the sauerkraut, check out my canning playlist. It's in a different video, how to prep it, because that was 5 or 6 weeks ago.